guys, it's Melody Lane here. I'm going to show you how I made this big skeleton today. You can get the file for joining my group on Facebook, Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane.
You are watching Melody Lane. With me you're gonna have a great crafting time.
Hi everyone, it's Melody Lane, and I am making a 60-inch skeleton. Yes, 60-inch. This is a movable skeleton. It's one of the movable monsters. If you don't own it, it was free this past week in Cricut Design Space. It was free for everyone to cut. And you can get this file if you support me on Patreon or if you come join my Facebook group, Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane. I'll put a link in the description below. I'm giving this file to everyone. You still have to own it to cut it if it's not free for the week. So it's 99 cents. But I created it so it's 60 inches. You can cut it much smaller, but I made it so you can save space on 12 by 24 paper on a 12 by 24 mat. So you don't have to figure out the size of anything. I did it for you. If you want to see me cut these on the Explore, I did an Instagram video. Follow me on Instagram, Melody Lane 815. Okay, so I've finished a lot of this already. This piece I have glued together. I'm using the art glitter glue. You guys know this is like my favorite glue now. I'm using the classic chalks. I use the white and a little bit of the black. I'll put a link to these below in the description. I love these for shading images. It's much easier than markers, especially if you're a beginner. See the shading I did? I used the white in here in the center, and I think it helps give it more of a 3D effect. I'm making a scary skeleton. And then I use the dark around the edges on the inside pieces here. So I'll show you that in a minute. Let me go ahead and finish gluing the other pieces together. I glued just about everything together. Some of them I didn't do perfect, as you can see the outline, but I think it gives it more of a 3D effect, right? All I have to do is glue these together and the skull. And I wanted to do that on camera. And first, let me tell you about how I cut these. I used all Cricut paper. This is all Cricut paper, and Cricut paper is textured on one side and not as much on the other. It's more smoother. I wanted to create this so it had texture on the outer side of both pieces, so I'm gluing the smoother sides in. And to do that, to make sure you're doing it right, when I cut the black paper, I made sure the black paper was texture side up. And when I did the gray paper, I made sure texture side was down. So before you get started putting any of these together, you need to take all of the pieces and fit them together. Like get the hands, get this. Make sure, if you want to do it like I did, that the smooths are together. Otherwise, you could end up, if like both of these were flipped this way, you would have two left hands or two right hands, whatever these are. It's really easy to mess that up. So that's why I'm saying put these all together and set them down to make sure they all fit. So put them all together like this, set it aside, make a pile of them, and make sure you have all the correct pieces and you have two different hands. No pieces should be the same. So there's the left and right one of these. Notice they're not the same, but it would be easy to mess these up if I flipped this way, then they're the same. That's why it's important before you glue anything together, make sure you have both pieces. There's no pieces in here that are exactly the same. See, so if one of these were flipped, I'd have two going this way, and it could easily be flipped if I would have glued the wrong sides together. So that's really important, and I want to stress that before you get started gluing anything together. So what I would suggest is glue everything together before you start shading it. If that's what you want to do, you don't have to shade this. You can just put it together just as it is. But I just wanted to show you how you can do things differently. I'm making sure the tip of the finger has the glue on it. Then the pieces that are like this on the legs that have this on them, make sure you put glue on the back of this piece, not this one, because you won't know where that goes. This glue gives you a little wiggle room to try to get everything straight. And I did. For the head, this is pretty easy to figure out. That goes there, this goes there. Oops. Gonna wipe that glue off with a baby wipe. Dry and hopefully be okay. I am going to go ahead and start shading some of these. And how these work is it comes with this little tool here, and it has 3 sizes of little puffs. And I'm just gonna take the medium one, rub it in here. And for the hand, I'm gonna try to make like little knuckles. You can kind of see where they go because it goes out a little there. And I'm just doing these more in the middle to highlight it. See, now doesn't that hand look a little more scarier? I just think a black skeleton is scary. You see the difference in the hands with and without the shading? Cricut cardstock shades really well because of the texture on it. So we're going to do the same thing to this one. Isn't that cool? Now you can wipe a little bit of it off, but then after that it doesn't come off. I'm just going to go down the center and then kind of highlight this area. Okay, now I'm going to take a black one. I'm going to put it over this a little bit, just so it blends it in more. Okay, now I'm going to go inside, and on this one, I'm just going to do the bottom of each one of the inside color. So there's the skeleton. So on the legs, I'm just taking this big one. Just doing a light bit of shading on these, just really fast. Where it's more rounded, I'm just putting a circle, a line down the center, or not so center, and then here. Okay, for the feet, I changed back down to the medium pom-pom, and gonna add some knuckles. Should probably just use a small one for this. Doesn't this one look scarier than this one? If you want to have a lot of fun, you can place this around your house in different places to scare your family. Like in a closet. I love to scare people. Put it on the wall that they see when they come out of their room in the morning or at night. Put it in the bathroom in the middle of the night. I'm so mean. Oh, poor George and Ken. Where are they going to see this skeleton at? And watch, they're going to watch this video and then they're going to move the skeleton around and scare me. Put it on the back of the bathroom door. So much fun. Okay, let's do this one. How should we do this one? Maybe like this? I don't know. I'm not thinking this ahead at all. I'm just doing it as I go. Ooh, let's do teeth. Oh, that's scary. So cool. That is cool. I love the teeth. Okay, I really want the teeth to even show up more. I'm going to use the smaller one and really rub it in here really good. I want to add black to this one. Inside. Let's put it in here. Oh, that is so cool. Okay, I think we're all done with the shading. That really didn't take very long. Okay, now something else we have to do to all of these is we have to put holes in them and use brads. So what I did is I took just these metal brads and I colored the black one with a black alcohol marker. You can use any alcohol marker, Copics or Spectrum Noir alcohol ones. I'm using the Bic Market. These are cheaper and they're alcohol. So let me show you how to do this. You just color it. You hold it by the bottom and you can get these brads. If you don't have a craft store that sells them, you can get them at office supply stores. Just a plain brad. And then you can color it any color you want. Isn't that awesome? You don't have to color it, but I wanted to use black. Okay, and then I'm using, this is a Crocodile 2. You just need a punch to punch a hole in it. I sometimes put the holes in it for you in Design Space, but I didn't on this because it depends on what size you're making it. Like if you made it really small and I put holes in it, then it would be huge holes and they'd be too big. And what I suggest to do is to look at your picture in Cricut Design Space of how this goes together. And this head goes on here. So I'm going to poke a hole through both of them. I'm putting this on 1/8 and you can see it pokes the hole right there. So I put a dot here to measure and I'm going to flip this up and put a dot about there. Looks like the center. So I'm just going to put this in. I push this down like halfway so I can see where it's going to punch the hole and then just push it down all together. And then I'm going to turn this over. Put my brad through one, put my brad through the next one. And there we go. And now you can kind of have fun with it too and move it around. Isn't it fun? Okay, let's go do all the other ones. Okay, these small ones are the forearm, the bottom half of the arm. This one is a leg. Yeah, these two are legs. This is the bottom of the leg. I have the legs set aside. These are the arms, hands. Okay, these are the shoulder. So that goes up there. And this one goes here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just mark on the top of this because it'll be hidden. You won't see it on this one. I think I want it there. Okay, let's get this right. I don't want it up here, I don't think. I think I want this one here. There we go. Isn't that fun? I'm so excited. Okay, according to the picture in Design Space, this little part here goes on the inside towards the body. See, now you can move the arms. Is that not fun? Could also dress this up and make it like a girl. And make sure you get the hands on the right hands. This one looks like it's the left. This one is the right. I'm missing the cap from the bottom of this and all of my pieces are falling. I remember one time finding that cap and wondering what it went to. Now I know. If you want to make this a girl, put some color on the tips of her nails. Okay, let's do the feet and the legs. Put those together. These go this way. So this part on the legs go on the outside. I don't know that it really matters. And these get attached to the pelvic area right up here. This gets attached here. I think I'll put this on top. I don't think it matters really. Okay, I think we got all of our holes. Okay, so I'm going to go through and do all the holes for the legs and feet. And one thing you want to look at when you're making the holes or the dots for the holes, make sure they're even. Otherwise, one leg will be longer than the other. Got all my holes done. Now let's put these together. If you're not sure about which hand is the right hand or which foot is the right foot, compare it to your own. The little pinky goes on the outside. Okay, the legs and feet are done. Have to attach it to the pelvis. This part up here gets attached to the top half of the body, and then these legs get attached here. Put holes about right there. Now we attach the bottom half with the top half of the body. I don't have enough room on this area. Okay, so we got it all together. So I'm gonna go place this in the house somewhere. I'll be right back. Okay, there's the skeleton. Who needs a name? I think it's a boy, otherwise I would color the nails. What should we name him? There he is on the door. There's a little cat door that from the people who lived here before. And this is the door to the craft room. So what I did is I used the ATG gun to tape him up. I put a lot of tape through this piece. So this is taped on really well. I put just a little piece behind his head, and I put a little piece here. I put a little piece on his hand, and I put some on his feet, just a little. And that way we can, like, see, I put some here. You can move it if you want. And the ATG comes off the door really easy. It comes off walls pretty easy. So it's great to use. So this is so much fun. Can you guys comment below and tell me what we should name him? Here's a video I also shared on Facebook showing you how I set up the file in Design Space and cut it out. You should follow me on Facebook too. I'm going to share this with everyone who supports me on Patreon, and this file I'm also going to share with everyone in my Facebook group, Cricut Design Space with Melody Lane. And I'll put a link in the description of the video below. But I just wanted to show you how I'm doing this. This is a 60-inch skeleton. I want to make a scary skeleton. I want him to be black with a dark gray background and a yellow face peeking through, because it's kind of scary. At least I think so. I had to slice him up a little bit to be able to make him this big. And when I hit go on this, it tells me I need a 12 by 24 mat and hit continue. So this is the original one that you see here. There's so much wasted space. I just didn't like all the wasted paper. I'm going to need to use 3 12 by 24 sheets of black and 3 12 by 24 sheets of gray paper. I don't want to use all that paper and have so much wasted. So what I did is I put a canvas here 12 by 20 so I could fit it all on the mat. So I placed all these pieces in here, tried to fit them on there and attach them. So that's what I did here. So now these are the pieces that I did. They all fit on the mat. Only 2 pieces of paper is all I'm going to use. Because 12 by 24 paper is kind of hard to come by. You can't just run to the store and get it. You can get it from Cricut.com, and they have new packs of 12 by 24 paper that's perfect for this skeleton. I'll put a link to that below. Only need 2 12 by 24 paper of this. The reason these are a different color is because I don't want them confused with these. But this is the colors I'm actually going to use. But I'm only going to cut out these. Although if you want a regular bone colored skeleton, you can use any paper you want. It's whatever you choose to use. So if you have this file, you can skip cutting this. You do not need to cut these 3 that are wasting paper. You can hide that skeleton. I'll show you that in a minute. But you can just skip down to these. You'll know which ones to cut because they're all mixed really close together. And then you only need one of the heads in whatever color you want it to be. And like this bone color, I'm going to keep this bone color just so I know which one to cut and which one not to cut. Otherwise they will mix up the mats. But I'm going to cut this on black paper. So I know when I see this bone color, I'm going to use black paper. And then this, I'm just going to use the only color I have of gray in 12 by 24. These mats up here, I'm just totally going to skip. I'm not going to cut these at all. If that's too confusing for you, you can go and hide each one of these. I don't want to do that. I want to keep this up here so I know what it's meant to look like, and so when I have to put all these pieces together, I can kind of look at this and see how they go. I hope that makes sense. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next video. But first, here's a shout out to a few of the people who get rewards for supporting me on Patreon. Austin, Stacy, Carla, Deborah, Patricia, Sandy, Carol, Denise, Michelle, Tracy, Bonnie, Melissa, Nancy, Rhonda, Joy, Trish, Gina, Bonnie, Jerry, Thea, Sue-Ann, Stephanie, Elizabeth, Janice, Phoebe, Mary, Kimberly, Lynn, and Lydia. Thanks, everyone. See you next time.
You are watching Melody Lane. With me, you're gonna have a great crafting time.